Welcome, everybody, to the Jim Masters Show Live. How are all of you? Thanks for joining us tonight. It is a snowy night here in the Northeast. We are expecting about a foot to a foot and a half plus of snow, and it's snowing right now. It's a major nor'easter that's coming up the coast, and it has arrived up the East Coast, of course. We broadcast this show out of the greater New York area, along the southern New England coastline between New York and Boston. And the entire Northeast is in for a major snowstorm, one that we haven't had actually in many years. We've been very lucky the last several years. We've been getting away with very little snow, if any, but any, especially along the coast here. We've really not been getting any. The Midwest has been the place that's been getting hit here in the United States the last several years, but I guess we were due, and this is 2020, so anything can happen. So a lot of snow is getting ready to be piled up outside New York, Boston, Hartford, Providence, Albany, Philadelphia. You think about it, it's all major, millions of people being affected. Tomorrow's going to be a really interesting day. We're all going to be buried in snow. But we welcome you. It is the holiday season. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa. And of course, we have our holiday mug here and some nice hot chocolate in there as well to welcome you and you and you and you, as we always do. Hope everybody's having a good day. Were you out? Those of you in the Northeastern United States probably were at the supermarkets getting all of your provisions and your supplies, thinking probably be snowed in tomorrow, at least most of the day. The weather's supposed to be bad. The roads aren't supposed to be too keen as well. Well, wherever you are around the world, thanks for joining us. This is our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. We started well over 37 weeks ago, over 200 plus episodes, just about every single day. And sometimes we do 2 episodes a day. We're coming to you from our home studio here, all beautifully adorned for the holidays. That's right, putting a smile on your face. This show is all about light, love, and levity, or as we coined, loveity. All the viewers call themselves loveties. They call me Mr. Loveity. And of course, they welcome our guests from all around the world with loveity as well, and they call them a loveity. So that means we're going to welcome our viewers right now. We're going to go through a few of them. Then we'll welcome our guest. All of your cast of characters are here. I know you're looking for George Burns. There he is. He's here. He's watching. And Gilligan and Jeannie and Silver and Lin the Panda, they're all here. If you don't know what I'm talking about because you're joining us for the first time, we have a cast of characters here that sort of spawned out of our one night we did Nostalgia Night, and everybody fell in love with these cast of characters, which I think is pretty cool. Our very special guest is the wonderful mezzo-soprano, Celia Berk, and she is absolutely amazing. And she has a wonderful new holiday tune out that we're going to play for you. We have a lot of music coming your way. If you are in the mood for holiday merriment, inspiring conversation, levity, and loveity, you found the spot. And we're going to welcome her live and direct from a snowy New York City. We were just comparing notes, who's going to get more snow, because we're just north of where she is. And I think it's going to be pretty much a split deal. Good to see you, Marilyn, watching in Wichita, Kansas. Thank you very much for joining us. Good evening, Jim, and all our loveties. What did everybody have for dinner tonight? I know you guys like to talk about food. We had a real good comfort mood food tonight. Puts you in a comfort mood. We had chicken croquettes with mashed potatoes and gravy and corn with tapioca pudding. That's the kind of food that'll put you to sleep too, but it was really good. We had that about an hour ago when we were preparing the show. Good evening, Linda from St. Augustine, Florida. Good evening, Mr. Loveity. Good evening, Loveity. Did you hear there was a tornado that went through downtown Tampa, Florida tonight? Yeah, folks on the west coast of Florida, there was actually a tornado, and there was one that's actually going through parts of central Florida. Godspeed to everybody there. Kathy Short, good evening, Jim and all our lovely family. I'm happy to be here tonight, where we are very happy to have you here as well. I hope you're doing well there in Cleveland, where I believe they are trying to rename the baseball team and rename the football team. Hi, Jim, and hi, everyone. Hope this has been a wonderful Wednesday, a very busy Wednesday. We're getting all our shows ready. And then, of course, busy because of the snowstorm. We had to get Christmas cards out, and we had to get packages out, and we had to get, our mail and get a lot of work done because of the snowstorm coming, which maybe we'll get some shots of the snow tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of snow here, about a foot and a half at least, which is amazing. We haven't had that in years. Looking handsome with your hat and turtleneck. Thank you very much. Turtleneck is brand new, brand new. The matter of fact, the package arrived yesterday. It came from Macy's. Very little snow in Cleveland. Good to see you as well. Merlin, ho, 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 Jim, and all lovelies watching in Canada. Please stay safe. Yes, we are going to be in tomorrow. We made sure I have some radio shows in my professional work I have to host out of the house tomorrow. So we made sure that we are in all day tomorrow because it's going to be buried outside. Hi, Jim. Hope you had a good day. Snowing hard where you are in New York City, right? Absolutely. And you're having some pumpkin pie. That's comfort for you. That sounds really good, my friend Kathleen. Bernadette, hello, Jim, and fellow lovelies. Any newcomers? Snow and sleet where you are as well. Be safe, everybody. You're getting buried probably there in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Snowstorm. Yeah, that whole Allentown and Lancaster, Scranton, inland. You guys, you might even get 2 feet of snow, Jennifer. So stay under those covers. Good to see you. Hi, Jim and everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Looking forward to an exciting show with amazing music, inspiring conversation, and loveity from Crystal, who's being buried with snow in Connecticut. Jill Jason is here. Hi, Jim and everyone. Good to see you, Jill. Loving the jumper. Connor McGinty. Oh, I guess they call this a jumper, like a turtleneck. Is that an Irish phrase? You know, I'm being Irish on my mother's side. I'm still learning a lot of the Irish words. Of course, crack, we know. But cool stuff. Yeah, I guess maybe the turtleneck sweater. It's a nice, soft sweater. It's very thick and soft and really cool. Got a couple of different colors. Thanks, gang. Good night for it, too, with the hot chocolate and the snowstorm happening out there. Connor McGinty, if you didn't see, he was a guest on our show last weekend. We had an epic show, a lot of Irish crack. He sang for us multiple songs. He gave us a mini tour of his family's house. That was fun. And we just had a great time. That whole episode is on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. It's pretty late where he is. It's, I think, 11 o'clock at night there in Ireland. He's there in Ireland. Donegal and Derry City. Good evening, Celia. You're a loveity now. I told her about the whole loveity thing. Connor McGinty, welcome back. It's good to have Connor with us as well. I love when some of our guests are viewers of the show as well. Many are, and I think that's really cool. Welcome, Celia, to Loveity Hall. You are now a loveity. Well, I'm going to welcome her to the show, and we'll keep taking all these comments. Feel free to have them come here. I will share them, post them on our YouTube channel. We're also right now on our Facebook page at Jim Masters TV. And if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel or the Facebook page, feel free to do that. I hope you're in the mood for some holiday music and so much more because she has it all set and ready to go for us. She is an extraordinary mezzo-soprano. She's an award-winning singer, and she's performed at some of the most incredible venues. And she's very excited about this new Holiday Bells medley that she just came out with. And it's really something very, very special. You can see it right there. I'm going to ask her all about it. I know about it, but I want to hear it from her. There's a real beautiful reason for this Holiday Bells medley that's being played everywhere. It's a very positive medley of holiday songs. We're going to share it with you here on the Jim Masters Show live. But without further ado, live and direct from a snowy New York City, we welcome our dear friend, Celia Berk. Celia, welcome to the show and happy holidays.
Be here. Thank you. Happy holidays.
It's good to see you. Are you staying nice and tucked inside as the snow falls there in the Big Apple?
It's amazing. It really is. In Manhattan, I'm in Gramercy Park, which is a square. And when it snows, it really looks like London. It looks like Dickensian London. And so it's just very peaceful. And I'll take any peaceful this year in any form.
Absolutely. And it's very beautiful too, isn't it? When the snow comes down, like even here along the coast, it's, you know, when it's on the trees. I think what's maybe happening, if we're lucky, of course, the roads will be clear because they're very good at, you know, sanding and salting and pre-treating. That's such a big thing now. They've been pre-treating all the highways here and the back roads and everything pretty much all day long. I-95 runs right past us here. And so, you know, I would say the roads probably will be cleared sort of by tomorrow night, maybe Friday. But we may, if we don't get any rain or any warmer weather, maybe we'll have a white Christmas because Christmas is next week. And if we're getting half a foot of snow or a foot and a half of snow. I think we might still have some next week.
I think so too, because they're saying this is not one of those storms where the next day it goes above freezing and then it's that disgusting slush and then it turns black in the city. Although there's so little traffic and pollution at the moment that I'm not even sure it would turn that horrible black. But I think you're right. I think some of it may still be there for Christmas, which would be lovely.
We have some loveity love coming. Loveity is something that we're famous for here on the Jim Masters Show Live. As I mentioned, I know you've watched episodes of our show. We're bringing back the lost art of conversation on our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. And we don't do this really as a stream or a podcast. We actually do this like a television show, a television series, because of my background on TV and radio. And it's so nice when you see all of this, like Kathleen Walker in New York, who's also being snowed on right now. She eats her pumpkin pie in Queens, New York. Welcome, Celia.
I'll take that pumpkin pie. That's my favorite thing.
Kathy Short in Cleveland, who says there's not much snow. Welcome, Celia. Nice to have you here in the land of lovities.
Thank you.
Christopher Joseph in Ohio. Welcome, Celia Berk. Jennifer's getting buried in Allentown, Pennsylvania with like 2 feet of snow. So she's under the blankets, she said. Crystal in Connecticut, she's getting buried. Welcome to Loveity Hall. Merlin, who's probably laughing at all of us because we're getting buried in snow, yet she's in Canada, Ontario. Linda Odell and hey there, Linda. Everybody's saying hello to everybody. Hey, Kathleen. That's what they do too. They all say hello to each other as well. Welcome, Celia, and her lovely voice to Loveity Hall. That's really nice. Ann Wozniak is here. Welcome, Celia. Christine Clifton is here. And she's from North Carolina. Hi, Jim and Loveity friends. Welcome, Mezzo-Soprano Celia Berk, to the show tonight. Will be great to have such terrific music in Loveity Hall soon. Jumper is a sweater. Okay, so in Ireland, they call a sweater a jumper. I was thinking of one of those things that like a kid wears, like a jumper, like a little toddler. They put the kid in a jumper.
UK thing is a jumper.
Is the jumper.
Sneakers are trainers, all these words that are slightly different.
Yeah, so the sweater is a jumper. I'm still getting over film because my father's side of the family, which settled in New York, is English-Irish. The Masters came from Yorkshire, England, and they settled in Manhattan, and they owned jewelry stores in Manhattan, and they went out to Astoria and then spread out further. My father's mother's side is Irish and came from Ireland, so my father has always said film as opposed to film. Oh. I'd always try to correct my father. And then I was interviewing Ronan Tynan on PBS and he was saying film. And then I'm like, oh, okay. It's how it's
right. When you do those little differences and they tell you exactly where someone is from, either directly or somewhere in their DNA.
Exactly. Christopher Joseph, Ohio says, hello, Jimbo and all lovities and guest Celia Berk. Marilyn Hammond, who is watching in Wichita, Kansas. I think they got some snow in that area too. Welcome, Celia. How about potato soup and a roll and sweet neighbor shared with me? That's nice. As long as
I can still have the pumpkin pie at the end, please.
Guinness beef stew. Wow, this is a hearty comfort crowd here. Yeah. Welcome, Celia, to Loveity Hall. You're now a Loveity from Merlin in Canada. And Linda in St. Augustine, Florida right now, watching on our YouTube channel, says, good evening, Celia. You're now a Loveity. That's really nice. And Jill Jason says hello. And Crystal Nolan says hello. And Connor, who was a guest this weekend, great singer and songwriter, musician in Ireland. He was with us. More coming in here. Wow, you guys are amazing. All this love. Sherry Schoenlein. They're very active. This very active viewer-centric show, as you've seen when you've watched. Hello, Loveity. So happy to be here again this evening with all of you. Welcome, Celia, to Loveity Hall from a very snowy Ohio. Very, yeah.
Why Ohio?
Yeah. And now everybody's hankering for pumpkin pie. That is funny. Maureen's reporting in that it's sunny and 66 in Phoenix right now.
That's just mean.
That's just mean. Yes. And Pasqua is here. Wonderful, Pasqua. Nice to see you. Good to have you with us on the show once again, my friend. Welcome, Celia, as well. So lots of Loveity coming your way from our Loveity viewers here, my friend. Can you handle it?
I'm taking it all in.
Everybody does.
Down again, so I'm going to just bank all of this love.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk about your brilliant career before we do the clip, because we've got several nice clips and the Holiday Bells medley, which I think is fantastic. And like you and I were talking about this year, people were ready for the holidays in September when the stores were putting up decorations and things for the holidays. You know, normally people complain and say, come on, we didn't even have Halloween yet. Exactly. And you've already got the decorations.
Like, oh, good.
But this year, people, I think, have really wanted to feel the love, the warmth of the holiday season. And you have found that with this song, right? This medley? I
hope so. It seems to be making people very happy. So that makes me happy.
That's what it's all about, bringing joy to people. And that's what we do here on this show. Let's go back in time a little bit to when you were a little toddler running around in your kitchen.
Okay.
Were you always an entertainer? Were you always singing? Were you always like entertaining the family? Tell us about how you got started in this.
I don't think so. I think I was just bossy. My mother told me, and I think she's on, so I think she's watching this, but she told me she listened out the kitchen window and I would be organizing everybody.
So you're a good event planner, party planner.
I'm a good planner. My voice teacher said I'm the most organized singer he's ever, or artist or whatever he's ever seen. So I guess that's my thing.
So you must have cleaned a lot of closets during all of this whole COVID thing.
I did. Oh my gosh. There's stuff I don't ever remember buying some of this stuff. What is the moral of this story? What is this stuff that's coming out of everybody's closets and the drawers? Yeah. It's really not good. It's really not good.
Did you find anything in yours?
Yeah, I found a couple of things that I started wearing. I took a lot of things and donated it. I figured if I hadn't worn it in all this time, then I didn't need to, but I also like pulled things out of the closet. I started to use my kitchen, which was very entertaining for anybody who knew me, that I was actually cooking, because I'm just not a cooker. And I had people going, are you eating? Is it okay? Are you getting food? And so I would have to prove that I was cooking by sending pictures to people so they could see. I actually know how to do it. I'm just not interested.
You're just not interested.
But I sent away for spatulas and different wine glasses. And I found out I had this great omelet pan. I have no idea where it came from. It was like, this is great.
Yeah.
Everything opened up again and it all went back in the drawer, and that moment was over. But it was very
Did you take any pictures so that way you can prove it?
Yeah, no, I did. I sent people pictures, and I started craving a martini, and I have no idea how to make it. So I made one. It was dreadful. I mean, it was so bad. And then I tried it again, and I got out the shaker, and it turns out, first of all, the first thing I learned is that if you don't put the top on really tight, flying, but at least it was sanitizing my kitchen. So then the next night I put it on and I really turned it. And it turns out if you do that, it fuses and you can't get it open at the end. So I had to go downstairs to my doorman and say, can you undo this shaker? He couldn't do it. The back doorman came. The two of them are pulling on it. Two people walked in the front door and said, let me try. There were like 5 people trying to get this martini shaker top off. And I said, what have we just learned here? I need to go to a bar. I need to be sitting in a bar. I'm not meant to be making my own martinis.
Right, exactly. Better to just be on the receiving end of those, I guess.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. That's part of the fun of Manhattan, these fabulous where you sit and meet friends and just sit and chat.
My nephew's watching from New York, from Long Island. Hey, Uncle Jim, all snowed in and watching from Long Island. Hey, Tom, good to see you.
Where on
holidays? Northport on the North Shore.
Okay. I'm a Rockville Center girl. That's where I grew
Okay,
up.
yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah, I'm from the island as well, originally. So you were talking about those early days for you. Did you grow up in New York? Where did you originally hail from?
Born in Manhattan, and then my parents decided we should agreed that they would raise their children out on the island. As I always say, they meant well, but I just could not get back into the city fast enough because I'm just a city girl.
You're a
And
city girl, yeah.
all of my birthday presents every year was a Broadway show, and
We were sort of lucky being in the area, growing up on the island, because some of our class trips,
that's right.
we're going to see something at Radio City Music Hall or something on Broadway or the Empire State Building.
I remember seeing Pearly one year. Oh my God, that was fantastic. Just fantastic. And now living in Manhattan, I would go to see a Broadway show or some kind of a show. And just the idea that I could walk out my front door and just walk to the theater district.
Yeah, it's all there.
I never took it for granted. I will never take it for granted. I can't wait for it to all come back.
How's it been lately there?
Oh, if you go to Times Square, it's like a zombie movie. There's nobody there. It's just so upsetting. It's just horrible. Just horrible.
Yeah. The restaurants everywhere across the country are really having a real tough time. And now the snowstorm isn't helping them either because they need to, close down again. Really, really tough times.
Yeah.
But, you got to keep the spirit and keep the faith, right? How have you been staying busy and keep creating? Obviously, you have this bug in you. You've done this ever since you were younger,
Exactly.
as a kid.
Yeah. No, I mean, to answer your question, I grew up listening to cast albums. I grew up watching old movies with my father on a Saturday afternoon. I grew up going to Broadway shows that my family would go to. So this is just, it's in my blood. These are the Great American Songbook and American Standards. These are my songs. And a lot of them I heard for the first time, either in a movie or in those early Streisand albums, which were just incredible. And I didn't know that those were standards. I had no idea. I just loved them. And I have to say, if any song that I heard her sing for the first time, that's the indelible version for me, those early albums of hers. And Rosemary Clooney and Margaret Whiting and Sinatra and Bing Crosby and Tony Bennett. Oh my gosh, I just love it all.
That's a fantastic necklace you have on.
Thank you.
Wow, very sparkly, very colorful. Yeah, very, very nice.
Out here in the city called Icon Style. It's all vintage on the Upper West Side.
Very, very nice. Very, very nice. So growing up on Long Island, but having access to the city early on, were you in plays in school? Were you always jumping in early?
I was, and I took voice lessons. I started coming into the city to take voice lessons with a New York voice teacher. One of my parents' friends would give me their commuter ticket for a Saturday afternoon, and I would get on the Long Island Railroad and go into the city and go to my voice lesson. And I would get in early, and I would sit in the Lincoln Center Performing Arts library and prowl around there and read plays and look at the exhibits and then go to my voice lessons. So I've been singing forever. And then I went to college and to get a theater degree, which is what I got.
So what would you say along the way after getting the theater degree was one of those early breaks for you in your career within theater?
Well, it was a break, and it was a hard that created a real break in my musical life. Early on, I actually, after I graduated, I had my SAG card. I had an equity card. I came into the city. I got a national commercial, and I was just pounding the pavement. And I went, I don't know if my mother raised a starving artist. I didn't really think through this part of it. And I had all these part-time jobs, and I was an au pair and all these things, and trying to get jobs. And I finally got a national commercial. And I remember sitting there, we filmed all day and until around 11 o'clock at night. And I thought, and tomorrow I have to start all over again.
Yes.
For the next job. And like something in the back of my brain went, this is not what I want to do. It was boring to me to be constantly looking for work.
The schlep of it all. Yeah.
Schlep of it all. Exactly. So I told myself I was taking a year off, and I didn't. I went and wandered into the corporate world for about 30 years. And I said that I had given it all up. And I literally, I swear to you, I literally did not notice that I was still taking voice lessons. I said, everything is gone. This part of my life is over. And all of a sudden it dawned on me years later that I had been singing every day, that I had never stopped singing, that there had never been a week when I hadn't gone to a voice lesson. My voice teacher, I was the only student that she would see after 6 o'clock because I would come after a full day at work. And she said, you must really want this. Don't you want to do something with it? And I would say, oh no, and just swat it away. And years went by. And then one day I said, yes, I think I want to do something with this. And she kind of put her head down on the piano and went, thank God. She really hung in there forever. But I was not a spring chicken when I finally went back to it.
Wow. And then what happened from there? Take us through the progression.
It sort of went whoosh. It was just the most amazing thing. The first thing I said to her was, I want to do something, but I don't know what. I think I'd like to have a vocal coach. And she sent me to a vocal coach, a wonderful man named Brian Hurley. And I walked in singing in my very high soprano voice. And he went, your speaking voice is a lot lower. Could I just take you down an octave just out of curiosity? So we did that. And he said, that's really nice. He said, have you ever sung with a microphone? And I said, no, never. And he said, can I try it? And I said, sure. So he pulls out a microphone, he puts in front of me. He said, lean in, sing right into that microphone. It's just between you and the microphone. And I sang a song, and I pulled back at the end and I went, huh. And he went, huh. And it was like I had found something I was looking my whole life for, but I didn't know that's what I was looking for. Because I thought, oh, I was going to be an actress. I was going to be the first lady of the American stage. But there it was. And that's kind of when I realized I'd been singing all these years, and that this thing was the thing that was missing for me. And from that point on, it just went on. And we started playing with every kind of music. I just bring tons and tons of music in once a week. And I said, I'm hearing arrangements, and I'm hearing arrangements in my head. And he said, well, I'm not an arranger. So I started to ask people for recommendations, and I ended up going to Alex Ryback, who is very well regarded.
Yeah.
You know, you and I were talking before about Anna Hampton Callaway, and he has been Liz Callaway's musical director forever. Is really one of the preeminent musical directors, and he's also a songwriter and an arranger. And I walked in and I sat down at his piano and I pulled out a piece of music and I sang it, and he looked at me and he said, what else you got? And so we just spent an hour, and he just kept looking at me like, who are you?
Yeah.
where did you come from?
Yeah, right.
And I said, I have a day job, but I promise you, I'm going to take this very seriously. So we started talking about keys and arrangements, and he just like opened up the top of his head and just shared everything he knew, which was considerable. And at some point, he said, at some point you should go into a studio and record a couple of things so that you can hear what you sound like. Because he said, have you ever heard yourself? And I said, no, I've never heard myself. So we went in one day to a studio. It ended up being the studio, by the way, that I did part of the recording of the Holiday Bells. And we just spent 3 hours in the studio just doing demos. And the owner of the studio came out and he said to me, who are you? Who are you? Everybody just kept saying to me,
it seems like a running theme there.
Who are you? And he said, I expect to hear great things from you. And he went back into his office, and that was that.
And that was it.
I walked out with a demo and started playing it for people who for years and years knew I had been taking voice lessons, but had never heard me sing. And in a million years, they would never have heard me sing if it meant that I had to get up in front of them and do it. So I would just sit them down and play the demo. And I took it back to my voice teacher and we played it. And she looked at me because she hadn't heard what I was doing down in the lower end of my range. She hadn't heard it with a microphone. And she said to me, how many takes did you do? I said, 2 or 3. And, you can't slice and dice them.
That's right.
All in the same room in a studio. She went, really? I just kept getting these strange looks from people. And Alex and I kept working, and I was fortunate to, one of my voice teacher's other students was Sarah Rice, who is the original Joanna in Sweeney Todd. And she heard me playing this demo for my voice teacher. And she said, oh my God, that's beautiful. You should come sing with me. I have this little group that sings upstate. It's just enough people to make your adrenaline pump. Come sing with us. And so I started singing upstate. I thought I was going to die. I really did. I was so frightened. I would text Alex just before we would go out, and I would send him texts like, I would like my body to go to medical science. Like, I really thought I was going to die in the middle of one of these concerts. But little by little, I started to get my sea legs. And one of the people in the group, I ended up doing a show with, a lovely man, Rich Flanders. I think if he hadn't asked me to do something, I would never have gotten up on my own. But we went to Don't Tell Mama in Manhattan, which is where every cabaret singer starts, with the wonderful Sidney Meyer taking care of you. Did this gig, and we got, I just got such lovely feedback from it. And Alex was the music director, and we decided it was time to record. And I didn't know whether to record or do a solo show. And I asked a musician friend of mine in London, and he said, well, the microphone seems to love you, and you love the microphone, so you should record, and then people will want to hear you sing live what you've recorded. It was great advice. And so we did the album. It's called You Can't Rush Spring, that is the title track is Ann Hampton Callaway's song. So, which was a thrill to get to know her. And it came out, and all these, it got to Rex Reed, and from my director, Jeff Harner, and he called Jeff and he said, who is she? Who is this? It just kept continuing. And
there's a song in there somewhere.
There's a song in there. And then it went to Michael Feinstein, and he said, this is lovely. And her song choices, because I tend not to do the usual things. And he gave us a quote, and it just kept going and going. And then we turned it, Jeff, Alex, and I turned it into a show. And suddenly I was on the cover of Cabaret Scenes magazine, and I won the Margaret Whiting Award and a Bistro Award. And I felt like I'd been shot out of a cannon. And that's only been about 5 years ago. And so it's now 2 shows, 2 albums later. I have done another show with jazz musician Sean Gough. We are continuing to work on things, and that he and I will do the 3rd album together. There's the magazine cover.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's just been insane. And I have to say, one of the nice things about things slowing down this year is I right had some time to absorb it.
Right.
It was moving so fast that I was just desperately trying to keep up with it. But yeah.
A couple of people have some questions. Christopher asks in regards to the voice teacher in New York, Margot. Yeah. Does that name sound familiar at all, Margot?
No.
Margot Rybel. And Merlin in Canada watching asks, what song was on your demo?
Oh, well, to back on the other question, the voice teacher was Laura Thomas, and I feel very fortunate to have been her student for all those years. She taught me such good technique and such good vocal health. She died very suddenly a couple of years ago, and I now study with Bill Riley, who has taught some of the most preeminent singers in every genre, and I feel very, very fortunate. And he has, besides being a wonderful teacher, he was so kind to me when I had to suddenly find a new voice teacher. That's a very hard thing to take somebody else's student when they weren't trying to leave their first teacher. And so I'm very grateful for him and just the way he's done it. And he has taught me so much. The first demo, that's a great, I haven't thought about that in a while. I've actually blanked on what was in that demo. That is really funny. I'll have to go pull it out. It was 3 songs.
The genre? Do you remember the genre?
Oh, it's an American Songbook for sure.
Yeah.
American Songbook.
Yeah.
But I've absolutely blanked on what was on those. Alex will kill me.
Alex, go easy. Go easy. She means well. She had, her power went out, her computer went out earlier today, and now she's in a snowstorm. Go easy.
Yeah. I didn't have the heart to tell him for hours that I had no web access.
There's been some wonderful CDs that have come along the way too. Tell us about these.
So A Simple Prayer, there were 2 singles that I recorded when I could not do my 3rd album, but I stayed in touch with my album co-producer, Scott Lehrer, who is really now a friend. And he's a sound designer who won the first Tony for the South Pacific revival, and he's won a Grammy. And he's another person who's just been so kind and generous and so good at teaching me things in a way and telling me things in a way that I can hear it. Not everybody can do that,
right?
But he can, and he went to Maine as soon as everything shut down. But I stayed in touch with him, and in June or July, he said, "Hey, I'm not coming back, but I hear that Kilgore is open, the studio, and you could go in and record." Well, Kilgore is where I did my demo, the original demo. So I went, okay, the musical gods are talking to me. I really wanted to record A Simple Prayer, and I really wanted to do this holiday medley. And he said, the only problem is there's only one isolation booth, so you'd have to be in the control booth with the engineer. But he had an engineer who I knew who could do it, who's wonderful. And I said, oh no, I don't want to do that. I want to be my own isolation booth. I mean, I've done 2 albums, blah, blah. So I woke up the next morning and I said to myself, oh, grow up. You want to record these singles, or you want to be precious and have your own isolation booth? So into the control booth I went, and 1 hour Alex came in and we did A Simple Prayer. And then the next hour, John Weber came in, who had arranged the medley, and we did the original tracks for both. A Simple Prayer is by Mike Silversher. And it's really about, we all have to get along with each other. God bless all of us. There are times we're going to be right, and there are times that we're going to be wrong, but we've got to get along. And I just felt that this was the moment for that song. He actually wrote it after 9/11, but it takes on a different meaning in 2020. And he was really happy to have it recorded. And it got a lot of airplay. I sent it to a friend in London, and she sent it on to her vicar. And she said they were doing outdoor services. And suddenly her vicar started to play this recording. And she said, the idea that I was listening to my friend in this service, in an outdoor service on a square in a London suburb. So
who would have thought about that, huh? Well, I want to let the audience know, guess what? We have it here, and we're going to play it for our audience. This is really a very, very special song, and get a taste of the wonderful work of Celia Berk. If you haven't heard her incredible voice, you're going to fall in love with it. We've got quite a few clips here to share with you here. So let's enjoy this one here, Simple Prayer, and then we'll be back with Celia. You're watching the Jim Masters Show live. Enjoy, folks.
God bless America. God bless Afghanistan. God bless Israel, Palestine, Iraq, Iran. God bless the heaviest load. God bless the hardest prayer. God bless the roughest road. God bless everywhere. God bless the ones who die. God bless the ones who live. God bless the ones who cry and the ones who give. God bless the ones who dare. And when the day is done, God bless the ones who care. God bless everyone. God bless the grain of sand beside the widest stream. God bless the smallest hand that holds the grandest dream. God bless the darkest night. God bless the brightest day. We will be wrong and right. God bless us anyway. God bless our truest friend, and yes, our enemy. God bless the bluest sky. God bless the blackest sea. God bless the evening air. God bless the morning sun. Please hear this simple prayer. God bless everyone. God bless this simple prayer. God bless everyone.
Very nice. Really, really beautiful. A very touching and poignant song. So
great song.
So apropos for these times too, for any time, but especially now, huh?
Yeah, it really is. I really, really wanted to record that song.
And you knocked it out of the park, my friend. That was
Thank you.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Here's some of the Loveity wave coming your way. Jill Jason says, beautiful. Kathleen
Thank
Walker in
you.
New York, claps, claps, claps. Merlin in Canada, very easy to listen to. Gorgeous voice, claps, prayers, stars, everything. Christopher in Ohio, what a great message of this song. That's true too. And Linda Odell in St. Augustine, Florida, beautiful voice and song, great song and voice. What an amazing career. Very, very nice from Kathy and Cleveland as well. We have some more. I want to share something else too. We have actually quite a few clips here. And this one here, this one is when you were at Birdland. We've got a live at Birdland clip here. We'll show that and tickle our audience here with more of your incredible vocal prowess. And then we'll come back and we'll chat about it. Sound good?
Okay.
All right. Here's more of the incomparable Celia Berk. This is when she was live at Birdland, which is one of our great favorite places in New York City. Enjoy. We'll be back.
Sometimes I think my heart will burst like a balloon inside my chest, with all the love that's waiting here, unexpressed. Fingers that ache to intertwine, warmest of chords but missing tune. Where is the laugh to echo mine? Send it soon. The words my lips would form, the circle these two arms would make, safe and warm. Someone could be safe and warm, but maybe the love we yearn to give can find a release some other way, coloring how we choose to live every day. The kindness we could share, the kindness we could share, the comfort these two arms might lend,
I like the little bird at the end.
That's Gramercy Nightingale Music. That's my
That's-
music company. So that's the Gramercy Nightingale.
Oh, I didn't realize it. It's your company. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
nice. So that's
Yeah.
very, very nice. Tastefully done. Tell us about that night. What was that like for you?
That was the first night at Birdland, and that's Sean Gough at the piano and Steve Doyle on bass. And we did a program of songs about love that are going to be recorded. And it was amazing. It's an amazing room. It was an amazing audience. It was packed. It's just thrilling. It's thrilling to sing at Birdland. I felt very fortunate. And Johnny Valenti, who owns Birdland, was there that night. He was so kind to me. I just feel for him so much. He reopened about 10 days ago and had to turn around and shut right back up again because of.
Oh, I didn't realize they did. I knew they were opening Jim Caruso, Billy Stritch,
Yes, exactly.
the whole gang.
Jim wasn't there that night. That was in the Birdland Theater. He had the flu and he wasn't there. So Johnny actually did all the introduction and at the end and everything. And he was just so nice to me. But they reopened, and yes, wonderful performers came in and did gigs, and then that's it.
It got worse. The weather. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful comments coming in here. We're very interactive on this show for sure, with all the loveities from around the world. Sherry says, so pretty as far as a beautiful song. And Christopher says, that is a very cool clip from Birdland. Absolutely. Lou Ellen, who's in the Palm Springs area, says, claps, claps, claps. She's giving you an ovation here.
Thank you.
Linda in Florida says, beautiful. Kathleen in New York City says, lovely. Kathy Short, claps and hearts. Jennifer Barry, watching in snowed-in Allentown, Pennsylvania, says, very nice.
I like the Christmas tree.
Yeah, the emojis are real cool. Paul McGinnis says, fantastic heart in the music. You're spot on, Paul. Sherry Schoenlein says, beautiful. Llewellyn says, lovely message. Christopher says, you sing with warmth and great expression as well, and you really do. You get, you're all in. You're really, when you're interpreting it, you are feeling it deeply as well, aren't you, Celia?
One of the things that I was taught to do was to take away the music and do it as a monologue. And it's very interesting when you do that. There is invariably some word that, because of the way the music was written, you just didn't notice, whether it was off the beat or whatever. But when you monologue it, you go, oh, I didn't notice that word the way I should have. So that's one of the things that I do. And one of the things I really miss is I learn music walking. There's something about neurologically me and walking. It helps me to learn lyrics. And I would walk around exploring that music and invariably go, oh, I think I just got it. I just got it.
Absolutely. Christine Clifton says, fantastic venue at Birdland. Absolutely.
Very special.
Been there many, many times. You have a lovely and expressive voice, very heartfelt. Jill Jason says beautiful and heartfelt as well. And Merlin is in Ontario, and she's asking, and I'll have you define this from your perspective. I'm sorry, what does mezzo mean? Being a mezzo-soprano, whatever it means, you sound really good.
It's just the voice. So it's not a lyric soprano or dramatic soprano. It's a mezzo. I think mezzo is the middle of the voice. It's definitely the lower. Somebody else a couple of weeks ago called me an alto, but I have a really high range. You're just not hearing in those. Right. I think you hear it a little bit more in the holiday medley, because John Weber helped me do some vocalese that takes me into the upper end of my range. But mezzo is a sort of a kind of voice, and it's a kind of part. So when you, for example, look at opera scores, there will be the soprano and the mezzo soprano. And that can be misleading too, because sometimes it's also where it sits within your voice as to, just because you're a mezzo doesn't mean you can sing that part.
Exactly. I'm an alto as well, but yet I was deemed an alto actually in elementary school. I think it was my music teacher, Mrs. Sebastian. She said, "You are an alto, and when we're in the plays, you're going to be in the alto." Though my range is extraordinary too. My voice, as time has marched on, has lowered,
Sure.
which I like. But also it can go quite high too. I can bring it up, quite high, yet still an alto, which is interesting. And like Christopher says, lower soprano in the middle range is exactly what it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Merlin says, thank you for defining
Thank
that
you.
for her. We appreciate that. Matter of fact, we have another clip, folks. You think we're done? No way. And we're
I have
building
no
up.
idea what he's going to play, so this is a little mystery. Magical mystery tour.
Magical mystery tour. Well, you've been through computer situations and now a snowstorm. So
Yeah, I'm just kicking back. Yeah.
night of entertainment, pour more of the wine in the glass and you're all set.
I just have this.
Oh, what is it?
It says the coffee cup.
Oh, let's
I
see
don't know
that.
if you know your sun time. And then you turn it. It says the coffee cup, and then you turn it, and it says, "I think about you." Do you know that song?
Yes, that's
I'm
really cool. Well, let's
I think about you.
let's toast. We always toast all of our guests. So cheers.
Cheers.
And mine says, "May your days be merry and bright." Sometimes we have a martini glass, we have others, but since we've got a snowstorm going to bury us out here, we've got some hot cocoa in our
Yeah.
glass. We're building up to this extraordinary brand new holiday bells medley. But first, we have some more that we want to show you to get a good sense of not only her mezzo-soprano-ness and her range, but also how she interprets and really feels the songs and really works the audience. She's all in, and she's been that way ever since, she got an opportunity to sing and sharing it with all of us, and we are blessed for it. Here is more of Celia. Enjoy, and then we'll be back. And it's a surprise to Celia as well.
It's all a surprise to me.
Sometimes it's better that way, right? We don't
I think
overthink
so.
it. When we overthink things, that's when things get a little, crazy. Just let it ride. Here we go.
In keeping with our theme of hidden gems from great songwriters, this is from an unproduced movie musical called Singing Out Loud. Love is just sand, slippery but clinging. Love is just sand, stir it and it flies. Love is just grand till you feel it stinging your eyes. Love is just sand slipping through your fingers. Now it's in hand. Now it isn't there, just like sand. Even when it lingers, all it's about is you can't get it out of your hair. It can seem smooth when really it's bumpy. It can look soft and be dry, warm and be soothing, hot and make you jumpy. Although you'll never know until you try. Is it the Sahara or a beach beneath the Caribbean sky? Love is just sand. You can feel it shifting soon as you stand. You begin to sink. Everything's planned. Then it gets to drifting, never to where you think. Love ain't solid land. It's just all it's can seem smooth when really it's bumpy. It can look soft and be dry, warm and be soothing, hot and make you jumpy, although you'll never know until you try. Is it the Sahara or a beach beneath the Caribbean sky? Love is just sand. You can feel it shifting soon as you stand. You begin to sink, everything's planned. Then it gets to drifting, never to where you think. Love ain't solid land. It's just sand, nothing but
That is really terrific. I love that. I like that camera angle at the end where you just fade away.
And that was the Metropolitan Room, the lamented, lost Metropolitan Room, and that was opening night of my cabaret debut.
What was how did that feel? What was that like? I mean, you were amazing. Your voice is just fantastic. You know, we're seeing also quite a range too in your ability to interpret not only this wonderful material, but also in the way that you deliver it. As people are saying, you do express yourself with a lot of warmth, heart, and soul, and authenticity. It doesn't just sound like you're singing the words. There's a depth and a warmth and a relatability to the way that you're doing it that I think is spot on. At least that's what I've noticed.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Is that what you try to do? Is that your
I mean, in the difference between theater and cabaret, first of all, cabaret is about intimacy, but it's also what is your version of this song? It's not a character in a play that is being advanced through a song. It's you. So why are you singing this song? And early on, somebody said to me, you know, what is the version of the song that only you could sing? And why is it that version of the song? And I love questions like that. So they're little mysteries. And going back to the impression that Streisand made on me, those early albums, to me, every one of her songs in those early albums, they're little one-act plays. Yeah. And for every song, there's something at stake. And you have to figure out for yourself what that is and whether you're telling the truth. If you're not telling the truth, do you know you're not telling the truth? What is the reason that you're singing this song? And this one, it's one I get a lot of requests to do that song.
What is it about this genre that really speaks to you, where it's really so much in your heart and soul? You know, the Great American Songbook, the standards, the cabaret feel of things. What is it about that really resonates with Celia Berk?
Well, they do go back to my childhood, so they do. They're in there very, very deeply, and they make me very happy. And I think they're very accessible. I tend, as you heard in that, to do what I call hidden gems by great songwriters. I tend not to do that many songs that people know well, but if you find great songwriters have so many songs that some of them get lost or overlooked. And so the fun of it is to find those songs and to be able to introduce them. I really enjoy, but I just love this genre. It has to have a melody. It has to have interesting lyrics. I don't sing victim songs. I'll sing a song about being unhappy, but I don't think I sing songs about, oh, poor me, because it's just not my personality. Not to fight back in some way. But they're just amazing. They're gems. They're really gems.
They stand the test of time, don't they? Very nicely.
And they present an opportunity, as you said, for someone to find themselves in it. So I find the more specific I am about why I'm singing it, it seems to go to somebody else and land on them in whatever way, whatever it means to them. I don't need to figure that out. I just need to deliver it and let them find what they want in it.
It's that relatability too, because you're able to, especially with the cabaret form, like you said, and a lot of others have said who've popped on the show as guests, it's that almost like one-on-one approach. The listener feels, the consumer of it feels like you're speaking or singing or delivering it just to them. And they're finding nuances and essences in their own life that they're connecting with your performance, your facial expressions, the closeness, the comfortability, the warmth, and the content, what the material, what the song is, and the message, and the melodies, and the instrumentation. It's a whole thing, isn't it? That just gels beautifully in that intimate one-on-one way. Even though you may have 50, 60 people in the room, 100, whatever it is, it feels, the way it's positioned and presented, like we're just all in a living room on the couch, talking and laughing and listening to good music.
And I'll give you two examples of when I personally have experienced that. One was actually Sinatra at Madison Square Garden. And he got to a certain point. I mean, everyone was insane. They were screaming at him. All these middle-aged, but they were the Bobby Soxers, but now they were in middle age, and they just were beside themselves. And he had such charisma, but he had this ability to just reach out. And you really did think he was singing to you. And at one point he said, now I want everyone to get quiet. And I want you to imagine that we are in a bar sitting next to each other on bar stools. And then he sang Angel Eyes. You could not hear a pin drop. And you really did feel that he was hunched over singing this song about this woman that was haunting him. It was incredible. That was one. The other was Barbara Cook, who I saw several times and who had studied with my teacher, which was one of the things that I just found so thrilling, that I was learning the same technique. And I saw her evening at she sang at the Metropolitan Opera. She was the first pop singer to sing at the Metropolitan Opera, and 2 rows ahead of us that night were Sondheim and Sheldon Harnick. And as we were walking out, Sheldon Harnick was also a student of my voice teacher, so they were talking. So we were pretty close to them. And Sondheim was crying at the end. And he is a crier, I know that. But he turned to Sheldon Harnick and he said, when Barbara finds the center of a song, there's no one better. And I remember hearing center of a song and going, that's what I need to try to figure out. I'm never going to get it right every time, but I need to find my center of the song. And you do know when you've got it, I think. You also know when you don't have it and you're still looking for it.
Right, exactly.
What a phrase, when Barbara finds the center of a song. Just went straight in. She goes straight into a song and she's just in there and she just takes you with her. It's not a performance.
Barbara Cook, great singer and performer. Sinatra had such great style and presence. Love your song selections. You're having fun with a song. Love your playfulness with the song. Wonderful. Just beautiful. Really nice comments. We actually have a little bit more from the wonderful Metropolitan Room, and I've been there many times, and it is a missed place. I thought was there talk that a part of it or was going to reopen at one time in another form or something?
It showed up for a little while, kind of at the Triad up on the Upper West Side, and then it has shown up as Metropolitan Zoom as opposed to Metropolitan Room, which is very clever. But that room, and it was just incredible. Every day there was a 5 o'clock show, a 7 o'clock show, a 9:30 show, and it was just amazing what you could see.
Here's a little bit more at the Metropolitan Room in New York City with the incomparable Celia Berk.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Celia Berk.
You must fall in love in a place like Paris. That's a thought that I find idiotic. Your moonlight on a night in Capri, and Cape Cod looking out at the sea. You can't rush spring, no matter how you try, my sweetheart. You're gorgeous, you're gorgeous, you're gorgeous, you're gorgeous, you're gorgeous, you're gorgeous tonight. That's a song I heard on the phonograph. The needle stuck on the broken half and kept playing. They only come true in this dream. This dream. One night young Abby proposed to the miss like this. Yiddish nightingale, sing me a song. Your voice has got such sweetness that it makes me strong. Someday we may be adding a thing or two, a wing or two. We will make changes as any family will. I overheard a daffodil whispering in a hush. You can't rush spring.
Willie in Holland is loving it. Hello, Jim, Loveities, and Celia. Here is Holland. What a nice voice. It's like almost 2 a.m. after, I think it's 2:20 a.m. where she is in the Netherlands. Welcome, Willie. And really, really beautiful. And as we have the snowstorm out my window and yours, I guess we can't rush spring, huh?
No.
Not tonight. Really, really fantastic. And that gave people a nice, almost like a sizzle reel in a way.
That is a sizzle reel. That is exactly what it is.
A nice breath of clips, different styles, and some of those great quotes too.
I know.
We had Amanda McBroom on the show. Some of these folks that have been quoting have been guests here on the show. And Velvet Intelligence.
That's so Amanda. Oh my God. Everybody's just been so kind and supportive of me, very generous. But that is only Amanda could have written Velvet Intelligence.
Jennifer in Allentown, Pennsylvania says you're reminding her of the great Judy Garland.
From your mouth to God's ears. Thank you.
Yeah, from Garland to God. That's for sure. Absolutely. Now tell us about some more about this incredible, we have some photos we're going to run through too, but the wonderful medley, the Holiday Bells medley. There's a whole wonderful story to it. It's not just another holiday situation. It's not just another holiday song or CD or anything. There is wonderful collaboration that occurred, and there's a beautiful, poignant reason for why the song exists. Tell us about that.
I don't know if you'll have to tell me what the poignant reason is. But I wanted to do a holiday song. From the very beginning, I've been very lucky in that I'm being played all over the world. And your friend in Holland, I don't think I've been played in Holland. So if you've got a radio station, let me know. But I noticed that I would disappear around the middle of December. I wouldn't be on the playlists anymore. And I went, right, because they're playing holiday music and you don't have any holiday music. So I decided that I would at least do a single. And because I was going to go into the studio to do the third album in the spring of 2020, I would just tack it on to that recording. So back in the fall of 2019, I approached John Weber, who is an incredible jazz musician and pianist and arranger, and we had done a song together before. And I said to him, I have this idea for a medley of Silver Bells and Carol of the Bells, and I'd really like it to have a jazz sensibility. Will you help me? And he said, of course. And he comes over and we're deciding which comes first, which order, do we chop it up? He said, well, I knew the songwriters of Silver Bells really well. It's got a verse. Most people don't know the verse. Here it is. We put that in the middle. And I said, and I'd really like to do some vocalese. I'd like to just dip my toe into the jazz world a little bit. And so he goes, yeah, we could do that. And then he just said, Shostakovich. And he just launched into a Shostakovich waltz, and that became the centerpiece out of nowhere in and around these two well-known holiday songs. And he wrote vocalese, and I performed it. We sketched it out. He hit the road. He wrote the vocalese on an airplane in his head, which only John could have done. And I took it to a salon that Carol Demas, the original Sandy in Greece, was doing in her living room. And I did it for them, for this circle of friends. And I thought, I think when I do it live, it should be a sing-along at the end, but when I record it, it should have a vocalese at the end. And so I'm thinking about it. I then took it to the Beach Cafe because I was doing a group show for the holidays last year, got a little more sense of it, and said, right, I now know what I want to do. We'll do it in the spring. And then, of course, everything shut down. So when I talked to Scott Lehrer and he said, I think you can go to Kilgore, John came in and we did it. Scott took the tracks. They were sent to him and he mixed Simple Prayer first. And that was very straightforward and it just what he always does and what Alex was doing on that piano. It was just such a happy experience. He then started to mix the medley, which is very complicated, especially for someone who wasn't in the studio when we did it. And he called me and he said, I don't know, have a listen to this. I'm not sure. And so I thought, what is he talking about? And so he sends it to me and I went, oh, now that you're not performing it live, something is missing here. It's just not, it doesn't have an arc to it. So I called him back and I said, okay, I think we need to add some other instruments. I hear a French horn. And he said, well, if you hear a French horn, we could ask this person to do it, or we could do a flute, or we could do a cello. And I gave it to my voice teacher and I said, I think I hear a French horn. And he said, well, you could do this, you could do that. And they were like, they've got a world of musicians in their heads. And Scott said, I think we can do this. And I have several musicians in mind. So he approached Steve Kenyon and CJ Camerari, and they both were willing to do it, but they were both not in the city and they weren't going to come back for what would have been a 90-minute, 2-hour recording session to overdub horns and flute. And so, but they said, but we're more than willing to do it from our home studios. And Scott said, I think I can do this. So we got on Scott and I sat down with the track that I had done with John. We went through it. I did some vocal fixes. We talked about, is this the right take of this section? Is that the right take? And we sent it to them to listen to, and we got on a Zoom. And we talked about how we were going to do it. Scott originally thought we would probably have them both on the Zoom at the same time, and Scott, like a regular recording session, but they felt very strongly that it should be done sequentially. Mm-hmm. So on a Saturday, Steve took the track and put in woodwinds and sent it back to Scott. Scott mixed it in, sent it to CJ to do the horns. Scott took it back, mixed it in. We sat in the studio and listened and had a couple of things that what they did gave us ideas. We then got back on another Zoom and said, we sent them notes and said, can you do this, that, or the other? Each one did it in an hour. They turned them back around again. Scott took it. We all listened to it. We got on a final Zoom. We talked about the experience. And then Scott started to do a proper mix of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And I kept making sure that John Weber knew what was going on. He was super happy with what was going on. And without everybody having been in the same studio, we ended up with this, I think, really interesting thing through I'll always say it was in the mind of Scott that he could make it happen. John Weber having put those two songs together and said, oh, Shostakovich, and then Steve and CJ really did the arrangements together of the horns and the woodwinds, so that it's all these different arrangements that somehow come together in the same sensibility. And I said, this is fun. We should do one every year, and eventually we'll end up with an album. And I think that would be fine with everybody. But everybody was very happy, very flexible, grateful to be making music.
Yes.
And you said earlier on in some other context, if you have just a limited amount of time, because Scott was heading back to Maine, and that you get it done. You get it done in a different way. And you just go, we have to figure this out this weekend. This is it. And especially if you want to then put it through its paces, it then had to be mastered because it was so complicated. I had pictures taken by a wonderful photographer, Helene Bloomfeld. And
she's watching tonight too.
I know she is. Yeah. Elaine, here's our bell. Blumfeld. And so we just had to get it done. And I think there's a lesson in that too. But I just think such a appreciation, and in the middle of this drought of creativity, look what we did.
And here it is, folks. Enjoy. You're going to be mesmerized, and you're going to really fall in love with it. I've listened to it several times today as we were preparing the show. Get ready to feel real good. And if you're not in that holiday spirit yet, you will be right now.
Silver bells, silver bells, it's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding, 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 dong, that is the song with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Gaily they ring while people sing songs Christmas makes you feel emotional. It may bring parties or thoughts devotional. Whatever happens or what may be, here is what Christmas time means to me. City sidewalks, busy sidewalks, dressed in holiday style. In the air there's a feeling of Christmas. Children laughing, people passing, meeting smile after smile. And on every street corner you'll hear silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Strings of street lights, even stoplights, blink a bright red and green as the shoppers rush home with their treasures. Hear the snow crunch, see the kids bunch. This is Santa's big scene. And above all this bustle, you hear silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas.
Again, that was really amazing, wasn't it? When you hear it back too, I love watching the guests when they're hearing or watching the things that we're showing and how they're sort of reliving those moments and feeling the passion of what they did and accomplished. And when you hear it, it just makes you, I'm sure you just feel so good inside, you know, that the way that the blending was done, is spot on.
Yeah, and then when you know the backstory that it was all done individually, and it's just this mastermind at the beginning making it all make sense.
He's a surgeon.
He is a surgeon. He is a surgeon. He really is. Yeah.
So people are actually saying, I want that. I want that. I want the CD. I want that song. And so they can get that at the usual online places.
All the usual online places. The albums are on Apple Music and Amazon and Pandora. The 2 singles are on all the streaming and downloading platforms. So same as those, but also Spotify. And they're on platforms all over the world. I just put them all on everything when I was given the choice.
It's even on the Jim Masters Show live.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
exactly.
With all the loveities who are loving it. Anne says, love this medley. Christmas favorites. Kathleen Walker, loving it as well with Hearts and Trees. Maureen says, that was sensational. Willie in the Netherlands and Holland. She's the one that said, I want that CD. She sends claps and really fantastic. You know, your voice really is amazing because you can really just take it. There's a clarity, as much as there is this warmth and relatability and authenticity to the sound of your voice, there's also a clarity to the way that you deliver the words. There's just there's an elegance, but yet relatability, if that makes sense. There's a polish, but yet that relatability and warmth that somebody who strives for the polish will get, satisfied. Somebody who just wants something that makes them feel good inside, they'll get it. Your voice has, and your delivery has a way to really get into the heart and soul of just about everybody.
Thank you. That's lovely.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, and just in even seeing these comments here and just having been watching it myself today, what are some other things that you're hoping come along in your direction that you want to do in 2020 and beyond? God willing, everything works with these vaccines and all this, but other things on your bucket list in this wonderful career that you've had and continue to have, Celia, that you still want to do, that you still want to tackle?
Well, I want to get that 3rd album done. Sean and I were just about to go back to Birdland with a new set when everything closed down. And after we didn't do it, I decided that I wanted to rethink it a little. There were some things I wanted to say, both musically and verbally. And I actually started working with a director who only last week did I actually get to meet him in person. We've been Zooming since I think April or May. He actually comes out of the opera world, but there is an opera piece in here. But I just wanted somebody who brought no preconceived notions of me and no parameters around what was possible in cabaret. And so we've been working on it. And last week, we actually were in the same room with my voice teacher, with a pianist, with Ted Firth, who's the co-producer of the album, with Sean remote, and just started running it. And so I really want to do that. I just like to push the envelope a little and see, but I don't think we can just go back to performing and ignore what we've all been through. So I've tried to express some of what it has meant to me in the music and in the song choices, and do the recording. And last year I did a play reading around a table, and I really thought that was a lot of fun. That was like going back all the way to my college years, and I thought I wouldn't mind doing some of that. So I just want to keep doing different things without losing my grounding, and I'm so grateful to cabaret because it really is a door that is open to anyone and allows you to bring whatever you want into it. I don't think any other door would have been open to me at this stage. And just the welcome I've gotten and how generous everyone has been. K.T. Sullivan and the Mabel Mercer Foundation for the opportunities they've given me to sing at Jazz at Lincoln Center and Town Hall and Carnegie Hall, just the chance to feel what those stages are like and to be surrounded by great cabaret performers and to share the backstage with them as well as the onstage with them. It's really just been incredible. So I just want to keep going.
Do you ever pinch yourself and say, wow, this is really what's happening? I'm really doing this?
That's what I mean. The hidden benefit of these relatively quiet last couple of months is I feel like I finally have absorbed it. Like, okay, that's really what's happened.
Right, exactly.
It was going too fast. I just kept going.
You're right. We've been saying that a lot on this show too, that life itself, the planet was spinning so quickly that we were moving ahead, forward, next. But I'm somebody who likes to stop every once in a while, and I like to smell the roses and have a cup of coffee. I actually like to not just talk about the sun setting, but I want to be there when the sun is setting. I don't want to be at the ocean and watch the sunset. I want to, if we accomplish something that took us, years or months to do, I want to stop after we've done it and soak in. If we go to a family gathering, I want to soak that up right after, not just move right to the next thing. I like to me, I think in order to appreciate what we do in life and the people that are in our life and the things that happen in our life, they're all, lessons, but also there's wonderful poignant moments that could be had that could be very reflective. And these months that we've had in this year have certainly given us reason for pause, and a wonderful opportunity to be reflective, right?
Yeah, I feel like for the first time in a long time, I'm not multitasking, relentlessly multitasking, and sitting still, to your point, just sitting and thinking about things and processing things. And I hope we don't lose that. I hope we don't lose that sense of things getting quiet. When you were describing everything, it made me think of that song from the Broadway version of Sound of Music, a crazy planet full of crazy people, a somersaulting all around the sky, and every time it turns another somersault, another year goes by. And I think that's what it felt like. We were just somersaulting around. It was just too much.
Exactly. And, I was saying that I think, I think there was a meeting of the minds. I think a divine Mother Nature and the planet came together and said, we don't like where things are going. We gave you life. We gave you this wonderful planet. We gave you all these opportunities to make some good of it. And you've done that. However, you're now going in the wrong direction. So we're going to throw some big things at you guys: pandemics, economic situations, civil unrest, election craziness, all of it in the same year, all at once. And we're going to make this global, so everybody has aspects of this in their lives. And see how you rise from the ashes and see how you figure this out. And are you going to be friendlier, more empathetic, kinder, or are you going to be greedy and self-centered and self-absorbed and just craving the superficial stuff all the time and not the stuff that is constant in life and not the stuff that has foundation and true meaning, and that's part of the thread and journey of life? One of the things I've been telling people is to, throughout this whole year, and the holidays are one of those things. You and I were talking about that before we went live on the air. It's one of those constants in life. Surround yourself with the constants in life. Music is certainly that. Old TV shows, nostalgic movies.
Your favorite foods.
Yeah.
Your friends. I feel like Zoom has, even though we're not in the same room, I feel like, to your point, we're having conversations. We're not just rushing through, hey, how are you? And I think the other thing that you said that is really striking to me is this is happening to everybody. 9/11 didn't happen to everybody. Everybody saw it happen, and some people lived it up close. But this is something that has been a shared experience around the world, and that has to have changed things in ways that I think we'll only understand when we look back afterwards.
How is it influencing your music and your take on things?
It's just giving me space to think about it and sit with things in a different way. The other thing is that it provides an opportunity for, because you have to decide, all right, how are you going to create some kind of a structure to your days when your structure is taken away. And I have been singing every single day, and I decided I wanted to see if I could get my high C to pop, not because anyone would ever hear it, but I wanted it so that the lower notes would be even stronger, and it popped. It's there. So I create these little mini challenges, but I don't think I would have had the luxury of setting that kind of thing. I would be relentlessly working on the next thing that I needed to learn the lyrics or pick the songs or listening to the mixes or organizing everybody for a studio session or whatever. I feel like there's been a little time to play, actually.
Yeah, right. To breathe, to play, to reflect. And a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are, some people are even reevaluating their relationships. They're reevaluating the things they've done in their life thus far. And if they've been doing the things that really, not just serve them, but speak to who they are. Have they been doing things that have been fulfilling the dreams of others? Working for a company, helping them get rich and, not really serving your purpose. A lot of people have been reevaluating things.
Oh, no. People are going to come out of it feeling differently about themselves, feeling differently about their circumstances, whether that's their relationships or physically where they live or how they make a living or any of it, really. And just the horror of food insecurity just makes me absolutely insane. And I've
in the United States of America too, of all places, right?
I heard somebody say yesterday that hunger has been the dirty little secret of the United States, and I think that's true. But it's not a little secret anymore, and it's working its way into the middle class, and that just can't be. It just can't be.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So what does Celia like to listen to? What would be in your iPod or CD player? What kinds of other music do you like?
Well, when I'm working on a project, I don't listen to a lot of other people's music. I will say that because I had such a good time with the Holiday Bells medley, I really do want to do what I thought I was going to do this year, which is to tack on holiday recordings to the album recording. So because it's the holiday season, I've been busy listening to everybody else's holiday albums, including the new ones. And I've got a little short list that I otherwise wouldn't have in terms of things that I might record next from a holiday standpoint. I have been enjoying the concerts that have been happening every 2 or 3 weeks from the Metropolitan Opera. They have been doing live concerts with some of their, best world-class performers around the world. And these are performers who I just haven't gotten to see, because when you go to the opera, that's a big financial commitment.
It is.
And so I'm acquainting myself with some amazing singers. And also I've picked up a couple of songs because they're all doing some songs. Not all of them are opera. And I go, oh, I'll take that one. Thank you very much. So one of them will be in the next show, but I think I may have found a holiday song also. So I'm just enjoying dipping into different things. And then of course the biggest time suck where you don't know how you got into it or out of it is YouTube, because you go look, oh, I'll listen to that, I'm sure it's on YouTube, and then something comes up on the side and you go, oh, well, that sounds interesting, I better listen to that. And then 2 hours later you realize you've just gone from one clip to another, but you found these amazing clips of these great performers doing the, oh, I'll listen to 20 different versions of Embraceable You, you know, it's just amazing. But I didn't have the time to do that the last couple of years, so I'm just playing a little bit more.
Right, exactly. Right. And that's exactly it. Linda's, are we going to hear Celia sing another Christmas song? Do you want to sing something, or a cappella, or
I'll do something a cappella if you'd like. Yeah.
There you go, Linda in beautiful St. Augustine. She's going to sing you another holiday song for all of us. A cappella. Fantastic.
I was thinking if I was asked, this song is definitely going around in my head because I think you will know it. But if you listen to the words, they mean something different this year. So I hope I don't pick an absolutely terrible key and get myself in trouble. But let's do it. And I hope it's okay a cappella. But this,
you know what? Willie, who's in Holland, says she's going to try to make the voice of Celia known through the media here in Holland.
Willie, we have to talk. Thank you. We'll find each other on social media. Thank you.
Do you like stroopwafels?
Yes, I do.
There you go. That's the place for the stroopwafels.
Yes.
Yeah, we were there a couple of times on TV shoots.
Right.
So another holiday carol coming your way from Celia.
I don't know if this is a carol, but it's a holiday standard. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Next year, all our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. Next year, all our troubles will be miles away. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us will be near to us once more. Someday soon we all will be together if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas. No. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year. That was beautiful. And that is always the test of true talent, when you can do it in your house at a desk.
Sitting at a desk.
A cappella.
It was a little high. I picked a little high, but that's okay.
But it really was beautiful, beautifully done, really beautifully done. And there's a clarity. I'm trying to nail what I'm trying to say. There's a clarity in articulation, and there's just a clarity to your voice that's very buttery. It's a buttery, sensation that I think is really terrific, really terrific. Thank you, Celia. Wishing you and yours most joyful Christmas season. Linda, who put in the request. Thank you, Celia. Thank you. Christopher says, lovely. Kathleen, same thing from New York City. So lovely from Bernadette. She was actually singing along as well. Have you toyed with mentoring and teaching others who are up and coming. I'm sure you love to inspire others too, young minds who are wanting to do this kind of work as well and guide them. Have you thought about doing that as well along the way? You probably already have.
I don't know that I'm a teacher. I don't have patience. I remember the 200th time that my voice teacher said something to me, and I just looked at her and I said, don't you get tired saying the same thing, waiting for it to get into this brain? And she goes, no, I love it. And I thought, well, I would have killed me by now. So, I don't think I'm meant to be a teacher.
The patience part of it, right?
I hope I am someone that other people can ask for advice or learn with and from, but I don't think I'm a teacher. I don't think I have the patience. I don't think I have the gift. I really do think being a teacher is a gift.
It's a gift. Though they say
the other thing I would just say about this year is I hope once and for all we put value on the right people in society. This is absolutely insane who makes all the money. Also, there's something wrong with this, as opposed to the people who are truly taking care of us, even the people who are making sure we have food, that comes in and we can go and buy it. And I really just hope something sorts back out, and the teachers and nurses and caregivers and people who work with dignity in jobs that don't look so glamorous are respected more than they have been.
I know. I agree. The society is a little discombobulated in a weird way in what it celebrates and what it honors. I agree 100%. It's really interesting, which is what I was thinking about too. In a way, they say we're all teachers in our own way. And Bernadette goes, teachers are treasures and should definitely be paid much more. Definitely, God bless them all. But as far as you do teach anyway, just by speaking and by singing. So says her teen, who's sort of an up and coming performer as well. And that's true. Merlin had company in Canada step into the house. She just kicked the company out. She's back. She didn't want to miss anything. That is funny. Are there any venues where you would love to perform that you have yet to perform? And it could be, anywhere around the world, the Sydney Opera House, Royal Albert Hall, anything that are dream places for you to be. Again, they don't have to be very large, because when it's cabaret, it's a little more intimate. But are there those places that are on your list?
I'd love to sing in London someday, not necessarily in a particular room. There's a really cool club up in Harlem called Ginny's. I just love the way that room looks. I'd love to get up there and try it. I'd love to step on a Broadway stage. Just put me in the chorus. But I really, after growing up going to all those Broadway shows, that's still, to me, just the ultimate. And it's fascinating to me how big an impression cast albums make on you when you're growing up, and how they form your sensibility. And then when you get to meet some of your idols, it's really incredible. Like, I had the chance to sing with Karen Akers, who I always just, oh my gosh, from Nine and Grand Hotel. And that was a thrill. And to get to meet Barbara Cook, and oh my God, that's Mary the librarian. And it's just, it's a privilege just to be in the circle of these people.
Who are some of those as well, in addition to the names you just mentioned, that are those you've always admired and looked up to, and just enjoyed and appreciated their work and who they are?
I pretty much have. I just love Rosemary Clooney. I just love that sound, and Margaret Whiting and Barbara Cook, and particularly the early Streisand. It's just mind-boggling that she was 19, 20, 21 years old. Just incredible to me. Sinatra. I love Bing Crosby. I just love
any of the the Peggy Lees and
Yeah,
yeah.
Peggy Lee and Lena Horne and Ella Fitzgerald is just fascinating, and Billie Holiday. These are just, they're essential. They're essential parts of your musical education, and they're they're the soundtrack of your life.
And you know what's happening? Other generations who weren't exposed to these greats into this music are being exposed, especially by people like yourself who are performing the music and sharing it and adding your interpretation and your, spin on it. It introduces it now to other generations who, they hear the music from earlier days and like, my God, that sounds good. There's no auto tune. It isn't all beatbox. It isn't all super synthesized. There's real instruments. There's, these words have depth and meaning. And even that, even the melodies themselves are breathtaking and riveting and heartfelt. So that is a wonderful thing too. And that's what keeps good music and good anything in life going forward, passing it on from generation to generation, and new generations discover it. I mean, even LPs are coming back and record players. I mean, I still have mine.
I have mine too. There are some great young singers that the Mabel Mercer Foundation is really nurturing, and there are some staggeringly incredible young singers, and they are stumbling on this music and taking it and making it their own with these great voices and great sensibilities. They're not trying to be retro in any way. They're just, again, looking for the center of the song as whatever it means to them. And you see all these pianists and arrangers working with them and helping them. You see John Weber do it. You see Billy Stritch do it. I mean, it's just, watching them work with the younger singers is really thrilling.
Merlin in Canada asks, would you ever collaborate with another singer?
Absolutely. I mean, I sang with somebody to get up my nerve to get back on stage. I don't know necessarily who it would be. Anytime I can do a duet with someone is great. It makes you present on stage in a different way, physically and tuning and being supportive of each other. I've done a duet with Karen Oberlin. Karen Akers, as I mentioned, Josephine Sanchez. Anybody who wants to sing a duet, I'm constantly following after certain people going, want to do something together, but it's very selfish on my part because I just know I'm going to learn so much from them.
What are some of the things in your life, Celia, that inspire you, the joys and blessings in your life that inspire you to do this work and continue doing it?
I just think it's really in me, but I really go back to my father having introduced me to this music, and we would listen to it. He loved Al Jolson. He listened to Al Jolson all the time. I can't say that I love Al Jolson, but it is how I was introduced to some of these songs. But he just constantly had this on. So it's also a way to stay connected to my father and to my childhood and a different time in my life. But this is my music, but I love opera also. So you'll see it converging a little more as I move forward, I think.
That's beautiful. So there's a lot to look forward to, and you're loving the ride, and it's been a blessing and continues to be for you. Do you have any sort of message for our viewers or loveity audience as we get ready to head into the new year?
I just wish everybody a peaceful and safe holiday season. We have to muddle through somehow. And I hope that anyone who has suffered a loss in all of this feels supported and helped. And I hope anybody, as I said, this thing about the food insecurity, it just really, really worries me. I do some work with a little nonprofit foundation, and we're trying to channel as much support into that this year as possible. I just wish everyone safe and happy and easier 2021. I don't want to say it can't get any worse, because in Yiddish that's called kinahora, which is don't say it because you're just going to bring that curse down.
Happen, right?
But I really do hope that the path forward for everyone is easier, and that whatever we've learned about being kind and quiet and thoughtful, we find a way to carry forward and not lose it when things ramp back up.
I agree 100%, Celia. I couldn't say that more beautifully. J. Robert Spencer, who's going to be here, Bobby Spencer, is going to be here on Friday night. He was in Jersey Boys. He's a great actor and singer and more. He's our special guest Friday night. He's all excited, and he wishes all of us the very same, Celia.
Thank you.
I think that's beautiful. Bernadette says, that's beautiful, Celia. Thanks for those words. Stay safe and stay well as well. This was really a delight to have you with us and to learn more about your incredible background and your passion. Merlin in Canada says ditto. And Willie in Holland says, Celia, Merry Christmas and stay safe as well. You really are a delight. You're so passionate, enthusiastic about what you do and how you do it. And you are truly a treasure and a class act. And
thank you.
So many different ways. And I wish you nothing but all the blessings of the holidays and beyond, continued success.
Thank you.
Kathleen says, I said at the beginning of the year, this year cannot be as bad as the last. I was wrong. So that's why
watch that kinahora thing.
That's the kinahora thing.
Yeah,
and that's coming from a Catholic girl.
Yeah. It's all about food and guilt.
That's it. Well, I toast you, my friend. This was terrific. I can't believe we chatted for 2 hours.
I can't believe it either. Yeah.
It went by in a New York minute, didn't it?
It did. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
You are very welcome. And you're also welcome back anytime. Keep me posted on, everything that you're doing, your fabulous career. Somebody here that was listening along that also enjoyed it, of course, George Burns.
I love George Burns. George and Gracie and Jack Benny. Oh my God, do I love Jack Benny.
Yeah, some of the favorites, exactly.
Yeah.
Linda says, hope you and your family have a blessed Christmas. Happy New Year, Celia. Thank you for sharing your music with us. Stay safe as well. Happy holidays. Thank you very much. I hope the show met whatever expectations you had and you enjoyed your time with me, as I certainly have with you, Celia.
Thank you. It was a real pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Just wanted, before we go, there's just a couple of quick photos we have here that I think are worth showing, because some of it is behind the scenes and I think it's really cool. Tell us about this. This is the making of, right?
The original Kilgore session with John Weber, the pianist. You can see he still has his mask on. I pulled mine down really fast and then put it back up. So that was the session where he was in the isolation booth. That's Helene during our photo shoot. She got me the silver background, and that's Prince Riley, who did the stylist, and Maria Miliadis, who did the hair and makeup, and that was our session. We also did the simple prayer picture the same day, and Helene also shot a great headshot for me. And then this is the zoom of Scott Lehrer in the upper corner, and then Steve Kenyon laughing in the bottom left corner, and CJ Camerari in the Hamptons in the right. This is us organizing ourselves for those overdubs. That's Steve doing his recording from his home studio. Steve again.
Here's another great one.
That's Karen Akers. That was at Jazz at Lincoln Center, the Cabaret Convention. That was last year's Cabaret Convention. I think that's that one may be a Helene picture. That was on Halloween. We did Haunted Heart with Dave Liebman, the great sax player.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that was at Birdland with Sean.
Yeah.
And that was with Scott in his studio doing the mixing of the holiday medley.
Really nice. Jazz at Lincoln Center.
That was all. This is also Jazz at Lincoln Center, and that was I was doing Sand, the song that you played from the Metropolitan Room.
Which really, you just knocked that out of the park. And then we showed this earlier as well. And then there's this too, Manhattan Serenade.
Right. That's the second album, Manhattan Serenade. And the first album was You Can't Rush Spring. That's that one.
There it is.
It's all about my hair. What length is it? What color is it?
It looks great that way too, the way you have it right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, looks really, really nice. Well, this was fantastic. Now they got to see some wonderful photos. I wanted to make sure that I got in there as well. And Marilyn says, thank you, Celia and Jim, for a very special evening. You're welcome, Marilyn, watching once again, one of our regular loveities in Wichita, Kansas. Christine in North Carolina, it was a joy to learn more about you, Celia. I enjoyed all your video clips and this beautiful, deep, meaningful conversation. You have such passion in all your work. Thanks for your time tonight. Have a safe and happy holiday.
Thank you, and you.
Sherry showing line. It was so wonderful meeting you, Celia. Thank you for sharing your stories and music with us. Take care, and please come back soon. And Christopher loved all those photos we just showed. And cheers from Willie, watching late into the hour in the Netherlands as well.
Yes.
Best to you and yours, my friend. We'll stay connected. You're welcome back anytime. And thanks for all the time and all of the levity and music and terrific conversation. We really appreciate it. It was really a blessing. Linda says, thank you, Celia, for sharing your life stories with all of us. Loveities. Merlin in Canada says, East Coasters, take care, stay safe, as Celia and Jim get buried in snow.
Yeah, now we're going to look out the window and see what's been happening.
See how much, right?
2 hours.
Like we're kids, right?
Yeah, really.
Want to go out and have a snowball fight or build an igloo or a snowman?
Yeah.
That's about it. Well, my friend, again, you take care. Thanks for all the time with us. And it was really a pleasure having you on our show. And I hope you'll spread the word about the show. And I hope you enjoyed the show as well.
Very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Take care and have a good night. Bye-bye, Celia.
Bye.
The wonderful Celia Berk, exclusively here on the Jim Masters Show live, mezzo-soprano, singer extraordinaire, and you got a chance to learn more about her and hear some of her extraordinary talent and work. She really is spectacular. We're so happy to have featured her, especially during the holiday time, as she has that wonderful, fantastic new music out, and we certainly hope you enjoyed that. Again, you can go to all the usual places to learn more about her incredible music. And again, you have an opportunity to do that. Also on all the social media platforms, she's there as well. Thanks to everybody for tuning in and all these great comments as well. Send some snow to Florida. We will probably have enough for all 50 states, I think, by the time we're done from what they're talking about. Willie says, thanks, Celia. You are the greats. Absolutely. I agree. And we thank her very much for, again, sharing her time and talent with us. If you want to get that fantastic new Holiday Bells medley, again, check it out. It is available. And I thought they just did they just really nailed it, didn't they? It was just such an incredible job. And to know everything was done individually is incredible. Want to let you know that we have a bevy of extraordinary guests who are coming up on the Jim Masters Show live. Tomorrow, we have another brilliant singer and songwriter, French-American singer-songwriter and musician. This is Lily Rolquin. She is going to be with us tomorrow live Thursday. She's in New York as well. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be here on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We would love that. And also on Facebook as well. That is on Thursday. Then Saturday, a very, very special show. Sir James Galway, who is an extraordinary international beloved legend, 30 million albums sold, Irish flautist. This is his beautiful wife and his duet partner, Lady Jean Galway. She's from New York. He's originally from Ireland, of course. They live in Switzerland. They're going to be with us live for a very special holiday show, but also we're going to be celebrating Sir James Galway's birthday as well. This Friday at a special time, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 p.m. in Ireland, Scotland, England, Switzerland, and the other areas in the GMT time zone. So that's 3 p.m. this Friday, Eastern time, noon Pacific, and 8 p.m. GMT. That's going to be absolutely amazing. That is on Friday. We can't wait. And then J. Robert Spencer. Bobby Spencer is going to be with us here on the show. Brilliant actor, singer. Of course, you remember him from Jersey Boys, but so many more productions and shows and television and film and so much more. He's going to be with us live. That is on Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. We look forward to you joining us then. Saturday, live and direct from Ireland, Darren Holden is going to be with us. He was with Riverdance. He's a dear friend, known him for years, interviewed him on public television many, many times. He's with the High Kings, and he also has a brilliant solo career. And his daughter just had her confirmation in Ireland too, which she waited, I think, 8 months for because of COVID and everything else. So really beautiful time in their life. He's with us on Saturday, which is going to be amazing. Then we're going to have a special surprise guest on Saturday night that we will be announcing soon. On Sunday, we have Orla Fallon. Orla Fallon used to be with Celtic Woman. She is a brilliant harpist, singer, songwriter, musician. She's going to be with us. She has several new albums out as well. She is a solo artist as well as, again, many years with Celtic Woman. She's going to be here exclusively on Sunday at a very special time. Again, when we have guests who are in later time zones, we try to adjust the hours of our broadcast so their fans can watch at a reasonable hour. Because when we start our show at 7 p.m. Eastern here, it's like midnight in Ireland. So in this case, we're going to do it at 3 p.m. Eastern, and that'll be noon Pacific and 8 p.m. GMT time, Ireland, Scotland, England, the UK. So Orla is going to be with us. This is exciting. This all developed very, very fast. And then on Sunday night, another incredible Irish singer and songwriter. He's the Emmy nominated Michael Londra. You've probably seen his PBS specials. He is absolutely incredible, and he's all excited. He's going to be here on Sunday. We're really looking forward to that. That's Sunday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Then on Monday, Luke McMaster, Canadian singer and songwriter extraordinaire. He is into contemporary soul and R&B and really soulful, sexy music, really cool stuff. Luke McMaster, the master of contemporary soul, he's going to be here on Monday night exclusively. And that is just some of the guests we have coming up. We're booked all the way until just about February. Nathan Carter, English country music star. Nathan Carter is going to be with us in January. I interviewed him on PBS as well. The extraordinary, internationally renowned Greek tenor, Mario Frangoulis, is going to be with us live from Athens, Greece, coming up in January. We're looking forward to that as well. Anson Williams, who was Potsy on Happy Days, is going to be with us too. And if you haven't seen some of the television guests we've had on, we had Alison Arngrim, who played Nellie Olson on Little House on the Prairie. She was with us. We had Kathy Garver, who was Sissy on Family Affair on CBS. We had Stan Livingston, who was Chip Douglas, My Three Sons. You can go back and see all those episodes here on the Jim Masters Show live. Again, from Santa Claus, we wish you the best of the holidays and all the blessings of the holidays as well. Don't forget, as we always say, to smile and share the smile. And smiling is contagious. Share the loveity, which we always talk about here on the Jim Masters Show live. Find your Zen place as well. The ocean for me is my Zen place. My ultimate is with loving family and friends. And then, of course, my work in television and radio all these years, and on camera, on air, behind the scenes, various stations, networks, different productions, different shows. That's another Zen place for me, is the work I do in this industry. And, of course, tennis and music and other things. And, of course, the ocean. Growing up here in the Northeast, on the ocean, it's tough to not be near it. Although when there is a nor'easter, that changes, but still love the ocean anyway. Hope you guys are having a great time with us here. We're getting ready to say goodnight. Good night, everyone, to Willie in Holland. Good night to Linda in Florida. Good night, Mr. Loveity and all Loveities. Juanita watching in South Africa. You too, and good luck with the snow. We're going to have a lot of it. Yes, smiles from Willie. Christine in North Carolina. Thanks, Jim, for a great show. All of you living in the Northeast, stay safe with this winter weather arriving. You too, Mr. Loveity. Good night, Jim, and all Loveity friends. Bernadette says, thanks, Jim, for another terrific show. We always enjoy the guests in your chats. Thank you for the kiddos shout out as well. Perhaps one day we will be conversing with your daughter. That would be fantastic. Really, really great. Juanita, again, very warm public holiday in South Africa. You got too much sun. And we'll send you some snow in South Africa. We'll ship it. Have a great night. Good night, all. You too, Kathleen there in New York City, getting buried in snow as well. Sherry says, what an amazing show again, Jim, tonight. Thank you for bringing Celia to us. I thoroughly enjoyed it. My pleasure. Great show. Thanks, Jim. My pleasure, Kathleen, as well. All of you are terrific. All of you Loveities around the world. Keep spreading the word about our show. 38 weeks, over 200 plus episodes. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, we would love that. That would be fantastic. We're building that. And again, we thank the wonderful Celia Berk for joining us here on the show. She was a delight. She was funny. She was witty, very approachable, very affable. And she even sang a cappella in her house. That's a true talent. Good night, Jim, and everyone. Please stay safe and stay well. If the snow, yeah, you guys are getting a lot of snow where you are too. Absolutely. Yes. And now Willie goes to sleep because it's, I think, 3 a.m. where you are there in the Netherlands. You've earned that sleep. Thanks again to Celia. And thanks again to all of you. As we always say here on the Jim Master Show Live, don't forget to relax, breathe from the diaphragm, take care of one another, and take care of yourself. We love you all. Thanks for being with us, sharing and tagging and telling everybody about the Jim Master Show Live entertainment lifestyle talk show series, where we have interactivity, loveity, great entertainment, great inspiring conversations, and we have all of you. We'll be here tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, again live. The wonderful French-American singer, songwriter, and musician, Lily Roloquin. She's going to be here live as my very special guest. That is Thursday night, live here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Thanks to everybody watching on YouTube and tonight also on Facebook. It's good to have you with us. We wish you well. Happy holidays, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow on the Jim Masters Show Live. Good night.